read what you want. Read what you enjoy reading. And don't let anybody shame you for it.
Look, I'm so happy. This should not be a hiccup in terms of like technical difficulties because we all have our headphones and all of that, and y'all can hear me and I can hear y'all.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. Knock on wood.
We were knocking, don't worry.
All right, but y'all ready?
Yeah, let's do this.
Okay, I feel like it's been such a while since we've done one of these.
You need to hide the books.
I feel like it has been a while. What do you mean hide the book?
Nobody gets to know what you read. Even though it's the title of the book. It's the title of the thing.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Book Talk. I'm Lucia.
Katie.
And Mary.
And for today, and for the last month of the year of 2023, we bring you the book, The Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros, the second book of the series. I have
these are Mary's.
2 copies.
I have 4, so you see 3 of them.
How did I end up with only 1 copy? Why am I the one with the least amount?
This is the UK edition, bought specifically for the edges. You're welcome.
Funny enough, I don't really know what this series is called.
The Empyrean something like that.
Huh.
It does have a name.
The Empyrean
I'm not gonna
series,
remember that.
It's written right there.
Oh, I guess we should just read the...
It's on the UK one.
It's only on the UK one.
The Empyrean.
I only know that because she was on the author list for a Polycon, and that's what it was listed as.
I don't
Polycon.
think I'm ever gonna get to see her.
That's
again.
where we're going.
Yeah, a Polycon.
Why choose?
I wish you
literally
luck
what they're
getting in that line.
Listen, I'm gonna
try.
try. I'm gonna try so hard to get in that line and get my book signed because I feel like we all got a little bit gypped at
I
Comic-Con.
want my perfect edition of Iron Flame signed, not this imperfect edition.
Listen, my books are getting signed first because you already got a book signed by her, but if she'll sign 3, I'll get yours signed.
Listen, I'm not going, so...
So you can get a sign for me, thanks.
Anyways, welcome
All
back,
right.
everyone, to Book Talk, where we discuss this book. And, oh my Jesus, I finished this book yesterday. And funny enough, usually I take like 2 days to read it. 2 days to read, 1 day to read. I go full throttle because, that's the type of person I am when it comes to this sort of thing. I actually allowed myself to take the time to read this one, to ingest it, digest it, sorry. And so I actually started this last Monday, so almost a week ago, and I was reading like a little bit of pages here and there. And, I fully got to sink it into my bones. And suffice it to say, I enjoyed this book. Did y'all?
I took longer to read this than the first one.
Mm-hmm.
I liked this more than the first one.
Okay.
I finished it a while ago. Also,
Yeah.
so we're relying on you for the final plot details.
As we always do. I finished this first. Shocker. It was a book. It was entertaining. And I read it. I think I only gave it 4 stars, actually. I didn't even give it 5. I thought the first book was way more entertaining. This one had a lot of repetitiveness to it.
That's the
Yes.
thing I've heard a lot was repetitiveness.
A little bit of it was really annoying.
Yes.
The spice was better in the first one.
I agree, actually.
There was less of it here.
There was less of it, and I expected a lot more. There was a little bit of pining, which if you've read Fourth Wing, you understand why he would be pining for her, but, it didn't give. For all the fighting they had, he should have pined more, or she should have given it a little earlier than she did.
I guess to be fair, though, they weren't together a lot either, so...
They were very separated, which was by design.
I feel like it wasn't, I understand, Violet's trepidation of feeling like, he's not giving me the whole truth, nothing but the truth, your honor. He's not giving her that, and she's up in arms about it. But at the same time, girl, this is what you want to focus on,
right,
girl? Okay, well, first off,
there's a part 2 in this. So
yeah, there is.
First half,
didn't matter.
More than a half. A little boring. Could have been minimum this much shorter. Could have cut this much out, and it would have been a bit more sufficient. But once it got going,
it went
the
going.
reveals were fantastic. It
So
did, like, speed up quite a bit, though, so, like, tonal shift and, like, speed shift very much, but
The plot twist in this really got me.
the twists were twisting.
I dislike a character in this book more than Professor Umbridge, and that is impressive to me.
oh,
Is it the character? Who would it be? Jack fucking Barlow?
No, actually.
No,
it's not.
no.
No, it's
No,
not.
you, okay, who do we dislike more? than Jack
spoiler!
fucking
No,
Barlow?
the torturer.
Yeah,
Her.
Varish.
Oh, fuck Varish. Yeah, no, I understand.
Yeah.
But you hate him more
Than
I will
Umbridge.
not tell lies. I will
Yeah.
not tell lies.
Yes.
I'll
Because
just talk
he,
myself for knowing
That man was actively working to, like, kill children. They're
That's
not
fair.
quite children, but, like,
I mean,
so we're kind of
They're
jumping
basically
everywhere.
children.
So this book follows immediately.
shocker.
What did you say? Immediately after the first
it's
book, and
definitely
Brennan.
immediately after, yes.
Brennan is alive.
Yeah. It
Shocker,
skips,
he's
like,
alive.
Maybe a day.
Yeah, and Violet is like, man, we have to go back. Or they're gonna come after us. And
I was
you know,
Well, no,
surprised
it
that they went
starts
back.
with her being like, "My brother's alive,"
yeah,
because
yeah.
And they're
we
having a
end
conversation.
Fourth Wing with Xaden knowing things, and we're like,
Yeah.
"What do you mean?"
hmm
Also, very upset that Rebecca has said that we don't get Xaden's POV until he stops lying to us. I expected more POVs from him with the stuff that he does reveal to her.
She flat out told us we weren't getting it in this book.
I know, but like I still expected more than just the one chapter. I thought we would get like two.
I'm not surprised.
Seeing Teddy Hamilton on the audiobook thing, but I don't think he was on the first one.
I don't know who Teddy Hamilton is.
It's just the audiobook narrator for Xaden.
Oh, okay.
I was like, oh, he's gonna be a little bit more prominent, or maybe it's like dual narration instead of
Maybe.
or whatever is the definition of like having the male narrator say all the male parts, even though it's the woman's POV. Either part, whatever. Continue.
Yeah,
The
but
synopsis of the book.
when I read that they were going back, I remember being really shocked because I was like, why would you bother
What's the
going back?
point?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
But
I
mean,
also,
it
I
does-
also felt like, what was the point?
strategically it makes sense because
Like,
you don't want to
yeah.
give them the satisfaction of being like they're all dead. So we don't have
Yeah,
to worry about
my
it.
favorite part though is when they rolled up, and they were
Yes,
listing off
Robert,
their
yes.
names. That I did love that. I
And
really,
they
really
wait,
enjoyed
they
that.
wait for the names to be said.
They do, yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, well,
'Cause
this
they're
is
just like-
awkward.
Yeah.
And everyone's like,
Like-
oh shit.
Oh
Well-
shit, oh shit. I would also like it to be known to anyone who listening to this, if you feel like our voices are kind of subdued, it's 11 o'clock over there for them. And I just
My
got off of
roommate
work.
is definitely gonna try and sleep, so I do want to be a little quiet, but like, also,
Yeah.
I want to scream about this book.
So just in
Okay.
case anyone thinks that our levels aren't like hype as shit or anything like that, just fair warning. They're sleepy and I got off of work.
It's also December and it's been a long year.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm so glad we're
It's
doing
only
this before the
Sunday
year
and it's
ends.
been a long week.
Me too, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm ready for 2024 though.
No,
I'm
but I
Turning
am, but I'm not.
22.
I'm ready for 2025,
Jonas Brothers, let's go.
20th anniversary
No, I don't care about
tour.
Drama. Okay.
I thought you
Ooh,
meant because
congrats.
of your birthday.
I am
Go to
also
Disney-
I'm
Disney
supposed
World.
to go to Disney in 2025.
That's
an
that's why.
expensive year.
Again, all you gotta do is bill me.
Damn, I gotta go to Disney and pay for pit tickets for the Jonas Brothers.
Yikes.
Anyways, going back to this, instead of so generally speaking, or at least we did this when the last one and married took a particular firm on doing everything right by chapter
Yeah,
do y'all
nothing
just want to
taken
just
for a bit.
yeah, exactly, do y'all just want to talk about things out of order, kind of just have a more relaxed sort of conversation?
Yeah. I just kind of wanted to like give a non-spoiler review before we get to spoilers.
Okay.
Just so then people can see people talk about the book and click on a thing and be like, hey,
Right.
you should read it or no, you shouldn't, and this is why. And then
Mhm.
talk about actual specific things that happen in the book so then they can make that decision
For themselves.
if they want spoilers or not. Yeah.
You
Yeah,
should read
well-
this because it moves the plot a lot.
At the very
You
least,
should-
if you like
it
Fourth
should-
Wing and you want to continue, you need to read this.
It is very
Yeah,
much a
obviously.
second book in the series. Like it,
Yeah.
but they're important. They always are.
I wouldn't say I would stop reading having read this. Like I'm
No,
still
I
want
wanna
to
read more.
know more.
The way this ended, I have to know more.
With the
Exactly.
tears Rebecca Yarros got out of me.
I didn't cry in this
cry.
book.
No, I didn't cry.
I got a
this.
little misty-eyed
You
in
were
this one,
heartless.
but I
You were
didn't
both
cry.
heartless.
Listen,
Maybe it's my mommy issues.
no, it's because
No, funny
I
enough, I
much
cried
Cassandra
so
Clare
easily.
that my heart can't be broken anymore.
I mean, that's
No,
my
but
heart
honestly,
can
I
very
cry
much be
so
broken because you guys were
easily
cool.
though.
I think I was like shocked by like the mother reveals, but they didn't really make me feel anything because I already had written her mother off in my mind.
That's fair. Every single time that Violet saw her mother like do a little quirk of a smile, or like her mother actually had a conversation with her and told her why she did the things that she did, made me feel a little bit more sympathy towards her. But I am fully on the hate train.
Yeah.
Like, I understand why you did the things that you did, but you still shouldn't have done them without more explanation.
I also still think she killed her husband.
Well,
See, what if he's not actually dead? But
what
no,
if he's
I don't
that
think
V
she killed
word?
him because she
What
was
if he's the V word?
Yeah.
What are they-
There's a lot of theories.
I
on
have
Venom.
seen that theory a lot. Yeah.
I
which is why
refuse.
Here's the thing. Actually, he may not be dead. She may just be grieving who he used to be because he might be a Venom. Here's theory talk. He might be Venom, and that's why plot devices in this that we will talk about more later. That's why she's been fighting so hard for a cure. And in one of the like chapter header things, ow, I just cut myself. Darn you, book. It says like there is no cure. There is only like control.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a
And
good thing
she
Zayden
probably-
has control.
Spoilers.
We're bad at this.
Yeah.
Listen, guys, I know Mary said what she said about, non-spoilers and spoilers, but as someone who very well knows, I don't care if I say spoilers.
Literally, at this point, if you're watching our channel, there's spoilers 24/7. I try so hard, y'all, but
I don't try.
It's okay. Do you want to know what my biggest dumb moment was in reading this book?
Okay.
I fucking Zayden tells you he has a second signet, right? And
Yeah.
he says it, and my brain clicks all of the plot points where it like points it out to you, and I'm like, Mary, I was so caught off guard by that reveal, and she's like, what do you mean?
and here's the thing, I am already handicapped because I didn't read the book, so I don't
Yeah.
have the italicized
Right.
thought, mind to mind speaking that everyone else already got.
Mhm.
I had to go based off of context clues that are not always prominent there, and I just had to guess. I was listening to both books,
Right.
and even I understood what his second signet is. Granted, it was a little different than what I thought it would have been, because he
It's
said it's
similar.
a type of intrinsic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so funny though, because I was just like I caught on to like all the things about Andarna, right? And completely
No, and Darna was so out of left field for me. I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean?
Violet's just talking out loud and she doesn't know it.
Violet's just saying words, and it's like, I didn't know I said that out loud. It's because you didn't, homegirl.
I
You thought
remember
those
actually.
thoughts.
So one of the reasons why
Like, you
I
read
went
your
back,
intentions.
I went back and like I told y'all before we started recording,
Mhm.
is to see what our theories was. Is because when I went to New York and we were discussing the fourth wing, Mary, I remember you telling me, and so it wasn't in the video. And I don't know if you thought of it your own, if you said you thought of it your own, or you saw a theory, but you said, I think his second signet is that he can read minds. And I said to you, I don't know if you remember this, is like, I literally thought that, he could read her because, their dragons are mated,
Yeah.
So that's what, I remember
So,
you saying
yeah.
that to me.
Yeah, because I saw a lot of theories online, because I'm perpetually, chronically
Online.
On TikTok. However, I don't remember who it was, so credit to whoever ended up thinking of it first.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing is original.
Ever
in this
original.
world.
Yeah, it's fine.
Someone had said that, like, what if he can read minds? Because there's all these clues with Violet being like, I didn't know I said that out loud, like,
Mhm.
blah, 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 and whatnot. Or he just answers a thought that she very clearly has.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone thought that he was, like, an intrinsic, which, when she confronts him, is like, what's your second signet? Like, there's all these clues saying that
He was
you, Sigale was your grandfather's dragon, right?
Yeah.
Grandfather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why they were upset that like Sigale bonded with family, because they either get a second signet or the power is just a lot stronger. So the second he realized he had a second signet that was like mind reading essentially, because in the first book we saw an intrinsic get destroyed, like, immediately wrecked because he couldn't control himself. Zane immediately knew what was going on. He was like, I can't let people know that that's a thing.
Right.
But his shadow power was so much stronger than
Right. So
what
they
the
just
other stuff is, so
assumed
they
that,
just assumed that's what it was. So nobody
But
pushed
also-
for a second signet.
no one like in charge or whatever knows that it was his grandfather that Sigale had previously bonded.
They
with.
thought it was like
They
his
think it's
great
just
uncle
a
or
distant,
something.
like a
Yeah.
They
distant
didn't know it was
relative.
specifically like 2 generations.
yeah.
Like
Yeah. Yeah.
but a lot of
like
people
I
had
like I
theorized that that's what it was, and then I was like, I bet it is.
I remember, well, not remember, but I literally, like I said, finished this yesterday. So up until yesterday, not even today, because I wasn't really on TikTok, I haven't really watched any theories or anything. So, yeah. But it makes sense though.
It's true. I haven't gotten a lot of theories on TikToks. I get a lot of videos about teenage Andarna, so
Yeah,
you did.
which
You
had
did
to
show
me
us one
that video
today.
because it wouldn't load for me, but that was very funny.
oh, it made me
I
laugh so
haven't
hard.
even seen the
remember
video that you
texting
showed
you guys.
today.
It wouldn't load for Mary, so I don't know if it'll load for you.
I either texted you guys or I actually probably texted the other group chat for people who read this first before I did. And I was like, I was promised teenage angst. Where is it? It's literally here. Like literally, this much of the book is teenage.
Violet
angst.
is the teenage angst.
She is, but it was specifically Andarna teenage angst.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
It was specifically dragon angst, and I was like, where is it? Because it's not here. And then it was.
Because she's asleep for half the book.
Literally, she's taking a nap. She
I
has
mean,
to grow.
relatable. Yeah, and her,
Her
Jack
reveal
Tweed.
too. I saw her reveal coming.
I didn't see
But, like-
when she. So big spoilers here. Andarna's gold as a little baby dragon in fourth
Yeah.
Wing, right?
Mhm.
When she finally comes out, she's a black dragon, and we're like,
Yep.
hello, and she has a different tail, like a very
Yeah.
specific tail.
Yeah.
And there's a theory with that. I don't
Feather,
remember what the tail is.
whatever. I think.
No, it's
wasn't that-
different from feather
No.
because she was a feather tail.
But
when she
Taryn
was
says
a
at some
baby.
point that like
Yeah.
tails form based off of needs.
Yeah, so there's a very thing. But all of these like little hints and whatnot, and even with the riddle with the discrepancy in translations, which
Mhm.
was weird, which we'll get into. But I didn't realize that the way that she reveals that she's like, I wanted to be like him
Mhm.
because he's a black dragon and I want to be like him.
Mhm.
She is fucking multicolored. She's an iridescent little bitch
Yeah.
who can camouflage herself.
I could tell something was different because every time she saw her, she like talked about the way her scales were reflecting other colors.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I was like, she's
like,
normal.
goddamn fish. What is that one rainbow fish?
The rainbow
Yeah, she's a
fish.
rainbow fish. She's got rainbow scales.
Yeah.
I feel like there's. Did anyone else feel like, damn, where's the fucking break? As in all the shit that keeps happening to them.
Yeah.
First off, when they get back to the college, all the people who were with them that saw the attack and everything went down, they start getting plucked out and then
Slowly
assassinated.
dying, yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I'm like, Jesus.
Fucking Varish's dragon just taking out an entire fucking section of their...
Man, fuck that dragon.
If you guys were like around when she like released the snippet, that was the snippet. And everyone was like, what?
Oh, no, I didn't see that.
It was like on a newspaper
Mhm.
article, and it
Oh,
was a
okay,
snippet
okay.
of Fourth Wing, and it was that chapter or that specific scene.
Mhm.
But when they're training,
Mhm.
and this one dude just comes in and is like, "Where's Violet Sorrengail?"
Right?
And
Oh.
Noah turns around and is like, "Watch this, watch this." I'm Violet Sorrengail.
He
Doesn't
just
ask questions, just
snaps her
accepts
neck.
it, wrecks her, and I'm like,
Right? I was shook on that
and
one.
then she's
I'm not
like,
gonna lie. I
"Excuse
was
me?"
like,
and then Violet wrecks his ass.
She
And it's
does.
Like,
Yeah,
no,
she
no,
does.
No,
Go,
you
girl,
wanna,
go.
You want to wreck? And everyone was like, Mira, and he's like, "What do you mean, Mira?" He was shook that he killed the wrong person, and then he's like,
dumbass.
"Switch, there's Violet. Let me get after her."
Yeah.
She's like, "Best believe not. I was trained by Zayden."
You know
Which
who else
another
was trained
thing-
by Zayden?
Yeah. Cat.
Did y'all
She
just get
grew on
tired
me
of that
by the
shit?
end, but Cat.
Very quickly I was like, I don't like her and I don't like this little mini storyline.
Yeah, I got
That thing
tired
with
of
the
it.
fingers?
She's like, I just want that
Thanks.
throne.
No, she's just a bitter ex-girlfriend.
She
who
is.
But
doesn't
but
believe
like
Violet
that's
is
so.
worth it for Zayden.
There was no, for me personally, there was no need in this particular book for her to introduce a
ex.
jealous ex.
Yeah.
There's no
It
need.
had no
Like,
point. It had
I
no,
mean,
like she could have
the
just
history. Yeah, the history didn't need to be a jealous ex.
been. Yeah. She could have just
Like,
been
she has a
different.
cool
That was
power.
just extra drama to have drama.
Yeah.
and I mean, like on one hand, maybe it was a good thing to stir up. I mean, like she was basically a plot device for Violet to and Zayden to confront each other about the feelings and secrets and about
Yeah.
Violet feeling
Mhm.
jealous and insecure and this and that. But like I was just like, skips. I didn't literally skip, but I wanted,
Yeah.
you know, that meme,
I
skip,
want to
skip,
keep
when is
going,
that
yeah.
gonna keep good? Like, I was like, there's no point. Like, literally, bitches, there's literally a fucking war going on, and y'all are worried about this petty ass shit. Get it to
Right.
fucking get her together. That's how I
Yeah.
felt about it personally.
I
And
feel
then, like, Kat did grow on me, but she should
Yeah.
have had that personality, and maybe, again, it was always her. But, you know, Rebecca decided to throw in a wrench for no fucking reason.
Yeah. For Kat to exist as a character and keep that plot, like her part of the plot going, because we need to get the Griffins involved.
Yeah.
I feel like she didn't need to be an ex-lover. Like, she could have been an ex-love interest. Like, they could have been betrothed
Yeah.
and just not have actually done anything, and she could have been pining after him
But,
and
like,
then
it's-
jealous, like, why did you choose her
it's
over
also,
me
like,
when I was very much available?
Very obvious immediately that it's one-sided.
Yeah.
Like, I never
Yeah.
once
he was
thought
very
that
much
Zayden
all
was
physical.
into her still.
One,
He's like,
he literally, he's like, you
she
don't
was
need to
someone I
like
got
someone
to
to
have sex
have
with.
sex with him.
Right.
Yeah.
He literally says that.
And he says that to Violet. He's like, I didn't like her at all.
Yeah.
But she was there. And she was my opportunity.
Yeah.
Which is a horrible way to think of women. But
Listen, you know what? Casual sex works for some people, and that's okay.
I'm not people, but
That's fine. I'm not either.
A hole is a hole sometimes.
See? It works, and it's fine.
Jesus.
As long as everyone involved knows what's going on.
And
there's
they're
you do
legal.
you. Yes,
Legal,
and you're legal. That's
consent,
important.
And limits have been communicated.
Yeah.
You do you. Live your lives.
No kink shaming here. No book shaming either.
Can we talk about the fact that they literally torture you in your school?
This
I
is,
would
you
drop
know,
out immediately.
we
I
would have
take my
died
chances with
immediately.
my dragon.
I would have died when they dropped me in the forest to like navigate my way somewhere.
You guys
We
have
would
to
have
make
died
it
on
to
the
forest?
parapet.
I'm not even making it to the parapet. I'm dying on the stairs. I have asthma at that point. I'm done. I'm like, just knock me off. I'm good.
I've got really good balance. I probably would have made it to the other side. I can't
You-
see what
yeah,
would've
you're
happened
dancer.
It
afterwards.
was raining, and you definitely didn't show up with the right shoes.
Listen, I would have done it.
You crawl, holding on to it, inching like an inchworm. People are
Honestly,
stepping
whatever
over you.
works. Just don't ever
Yeah,
go
just wait.
upside down.
Yeah,
She's literally crawling.
Listen, if Violet can do it with her broken ass knees, so
Oh
can
my
I.
god, yeah.
Did you ever feel like, obviously I know Violet's been training and everything, and I was thinking about this when I rewatched our first book talk about, you know, the Fourth Wing, but I was like, you know, obviously she's gotten stronger, but I was like, what happened to her broken bone illness and all that shit? She's just like wrecking herself left and right, and just
Right.
like,
It
I
was-
know she's gotten stronger, but like, damn.
It's actually, I think either she theorized it in the book herself, or other people did on the internet have theorized that it's because of the magic that she got.
I could see
her,
that.
her body was physically stronger, and the reason
Mm.
why she started like getting wrecked during Iron Flame towards the or in bits where she shouldn't have been
Mhm.
is because Andarna was asleep, so she didn't have access to the full magic. So
Oh.
Andarna and Taryn being not only conscious but in close proximity to her, then she was able to actually take everything. She 1000% would have died, and honestly should have died during
Long
the
time
torture
ago.
scenes.
Yeah.
There are torture scenes in here, like graphic.
They are
Um,
quite
yeah.
graphic, yeah.
She should have died during those because they literally took her bond to Taryn and Andarna, but specifically Taryn away.
Mhm.
Like they drugged her. Oh no, that second time she knew about it though, right? So she didn't.
Yeah, because
No,
she smelled
no.
it. She smelled
She,
it.
no,
well,
she did it with the group, not when she
Yeah.
was actually being tortured. She didn't realize it when she was
Because
actually.
so
she
she
got
drank it when they were in the
tricked.
forest, and then when she didn't drink
she
it when
smelled it,
they
it was
were
like,
getting
don't.
interrogated.
Yeah, and that's how they were able to break out because they
Yeah.
didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she specifically got interrogated. But then she was alone
because of
being
the
interrogated.
books.
Yeah, because of the books that they stole, which is another plot point. Which that character, the prince,
The
dude,
prince, the
where
third
she's like, I know
line.
you, and he's like, no, the fuck you don't. This is my name.
All right, buddy. All right.
This is my name.
But no, because the second time she goes in to be tortured by herself, she's caught off guard
Yeah.
by
Because
Yeah.
it was Nolan.
yeah,
No, that's not his
That-
name.
Nolan.
That's
Nolan.
Nolan.
yeah. The doctor,
Nolan's the
mender.
the mender.
That was I was gonna say Naolin, I think, is the
Because
person
she
who
was
tried
like-
to heal Brennan. That's a different person.
Yeah, it
But
was after
Nolan's the
she
second.
had stolen the books, and
Yeah,
she
and
was
he's like,
going.
I'm so sorry, and she's like, what?
And then she gets
Drink?
wrecked.
How
Yeah.
dare you? And then literally Zayden was like, the only reason you're still alive is because she likes you. You're lucky. She may not forgive you, but you
How
have
do we
history,
feel
so.
about Dane not realizing that the secrets he was spilling were, and he goes back with?
I think it's very obvious immediately that he had no idea
Mm-hmm.
the
price those secrets are going
right.
to pay.
And I don't think he fully understood what he had seen either.
No. He just saw Xaden and thought she was being corrupted by him.
Yeah.
And didn't trust any of the marked.
Because, like, you can tell very immediately that he has instant regret of all the things that happened because of his
Especially
choice.
when he enters that time when she's being tortured by himself.
Yeah.
And the dude is like, we need your assistance. And he's like, no.
Mm.
And even Violet's like, do not fucking touch me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then he has to, and then Dane lies.
He does.
He lies about what he sees because he trusts Violet. He's like, I didn't know.
And why did
happen?
Because Liam comes back as like an idiot.
At least tear up. If you did not.
No, I
emotion,
teared up. I
I
teared
was
up.
gonna say, if you didn't tear up or at least get a choke in your throat.
Like a little. I got a little
reading Liam coming back.
I definitely though like thought that was like him bringing
hallucination.
her to, that he was like leading her to death. Like that's why he was
He
there.
was just looking at her.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be
Here-
just a hallucination?
Yeah.
I mean,
but,
yeah.
like,
I mean, he ultimately was a hallucination.
Since we brought up Liam, here is another theory chat.
Okay.
What do we think Violet's second signet is? Because Rebecca has said that it is very obvious. We already know what it is because it's presented itself in this book. She just hasn't explained what it is. So what do you think it is? I think it is, and this is like on par with what other people have said. I think that she like amplifies the people around her to be able to do things that need to be done. So like
she's the opposite of Bella.
Well,
Bella's
you see a siphon in this
Opposite.
book.
yeah.
So you're thinking like she's the opposite of that.
Yeah. She's like, instead of taking power,
She gives
power. Because
So then,
there's
who would?
instances where like Rhiannon, that's the name,
Yeah.
Rhiannon, couldn't move objects through walls.
Mhm.
But then
Oh
when
yeah.
she has Xaden's jacket on and has a knife that she's not supposed to have and gets cornered by Varish, and he only checks her bags because she's the only one that ever leaves. He's like, mandatory check, we have to make sure you don't have contraband. She like looks at Ree as Ree like opens the door and does a quick little look down and look back up, and Ree just knows that she needs to take that from her so she doesn't get in trouble, and somehow Ree is able to get it out. And then the thing with like Liam is that Liam shows up, and that's why other people are like, well, maybe she can like summon the dead.
Well, I could see
But
where they
there's
go
no
with
other
that,
instance
but
where that happens.
Rebecca Yarros said in an interview that she just wanted to write Liam again.
Yeah. But it also, he seemed like an actual character, not just a figment of her imagination.
Well, I mean, like, it's part of her.
There.
I mean, if it's part of her subconscious and she knows him very well, she would know things that he would say. And
But the thing is, she doesn't know him very well.
I mean, enough to cry
Xaden
about
knows
him to death.
well. Yeah, but like for him to exist the way that he did in that scene, she doesn't know him well enough to make him say the things or know the things that he does.
Like, what else did he say?
He says things that like she wouldn't have known.
Like what? I can't remember right now.
Neither can I.
I thought he was just comforting her.
I think, like I was gonna say, if anything, he was comforting her, like, "Hey, stay strong," sort of, type of conversation.
Right.
Unless he says like, does he ever say like, just wait a little bit longer, if stuff like that? If he says something like that, then maybe. But also in this book, they say that the signets are developed, like how they're developed is them personally. So Xaden, for example, are shadows and, slightly not exactly reading minds. So if hers is lightning, her second would be something about, and what's something else she is? Very smart. So maybe something with intellectual.
Right. I'd like to know that I'm fully convinced in the last book everybody dies, and that's why Jasenia is like rewriting.
You did say that. You did say that in the first book, Fourth Wing.
Yeah.
This morning that someone was like, so we all know that like Jasenia has that thing in the beginning where it's transcribed.
Yeah.
So they think that Violet either wrote a journal and Jasenia is translating it, or Violet is literally saying all of these things to Jacinia, because it's still in first person and it still has.
You also say this in the fourth wing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah, you
she,
also say
she
that
knows
in
all
fourth
the
wing.
things.
Book
Like, I don't
discussion.
think Violet is dead. I think just about everyone else might be, though.
Well, I was
Xaden,
also
for sure. There's no way Xaden lives.
No, there has to
Well,
be a way
I
that
was
it is.
also thinking about it too, because this book, a lot in the battle briefs, they're talking about how I always again names, guys, wherever they live, that kingdom, whatever, how
Yeah.
it's branched away from everyone else, kind of locked down,
This
and
guy?
all the other.
Mhm.
All the customs from everyone else, they made a universal language for where they live,
Yeah.
and there's languages that have been dead. I was like, well, what if? And then I was like, we also talking about in the fourth wing book discussion how at heart, Violet is a scribe. She's very knowledgeable, and I was thinking as I was reading this one, and also the fourth wing one, I was like, why doesn't this bitch ever write anything down? Also,
Right. Yeah.
and I was like, maybe she does, and she just never like whips out a paper, and it's like at the very end, she's like, written by in the diary of blah.
right.
But
Yeah.
Yeah.
but I was thinking, what if those languages come back at some point? Again, this is supposed to be a 5-book series, and Yesenia, because a large part of the world know, or at least over where they live, only know that one particular language. So she's writing it in a language that those people can know.
Right.
And again, she's writing in a language that those people can know because their history has been hoodwinked and distorted and blacked out. So she's writing a true account of what has been happened and what happened, so that people know who know the the universal language can read it and understand it.
Yeah. And Jacinia isn't there for all of these events, so how else would she know if somebody who was there, didn't write it all down? So at the very least, Violet had to have kept a record of all of these, even if it was like her dying wish. Like, she's
like,
on her deathbed.
Right.
Being like, or like the night before battle, she's like, I gotta write all this shit down.
So what do y'all? We're talking about Violet in terms of her practicalness and doing things outside the box, and but also we're discussing how smart she is. There is a part in this book, she and Dane and her and herself, just multiple people are trying to translate these journals that are supposed to be the key for the wards in terms of bringing them up, and the first time they do it, they're like, we need the blood of the six, and they they get a whole bunch of people, and then they do the blood, and it doesn't work. And she's like, oh, I never fail.
Yeah.
It was supposed to work. Were you like understanding? Did you feel like annoyed with her for getting, like, how did you feel about her getting
misinterpreting some of the words?
I don't think so, because I think I knew that something was missing.
I never once believed it would have been writers. That would have seemed
that didn't make sense that it would be writers,
especially with how early on they figure that out. Like, that's like here they figure that shit out.
Right, that's too early.
You have so much book left.
Yeah. But I also think in hindsight it helps us because the book is also called The Iron Flame.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Speaking of her trying to put the wards back up, though, so she does figure out that it's Dragon's Son, and she still thinks it's 6. What is also a caveat is that they can only breathe their fire on 1.
Mm-hmm.
So even though it didn't work, it half worked.
Yeah, they got enough wards that they protected themselves
for that one time. But it still
wasn't.
failed.
Yeah, it wasn't permanent.
It's interesting that even though it failed, they can't use those dragons again.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to use another one, and there's only 2 black dragons in existence. So then she's like, I'm gonna talk to you, motherfucker.
Yeah.
You don't have to answer me. Will you do this? Because I understand it now.
Right. But also, the only reason she figured it out was because her mom.
Yeah. Let's backtrack a little bit. Let's talk about Sloane. Before we get to her mom and the whole ending of this book, let's talk about Sloane.
Yeah. She's the sister.
She is Liam's sister, and she comes in wanting to murder.
I get it, though. She only had one side of the story.
She's like, I know what really happened. You're the reason my brother's dead. It's your fault.
Which isn't wrong.
And even Violet's like, no, you're right.
Yeah.
I already hate myself. You don't need to hate me. But I promised him that I was going to look after you, so you could make it a little bit easier. You could maybe not try and kill yourself every day.
One of my favorite things is that they got the letters from Liam's room, in.
Yes.
I loved that actually.
And then she's literally like, I have his letters. She's like, what do you mean? They burned everything. I watched it. And she's like, no, I kept
No.
these because he told me about them. And I knew
Mhm.
you'd want them. So if you want them, you're going to be good. You're going to get one every day. Or one.
She's like,
once
you
a
have to
month.
get stronger.
You have to improve,
Train.
and you have to like prove yourself to me
Right.
in order to get a letter. And then she's like, okay, I understand. I got this straight through the letters, and I kind of hate you a little less. Sorry, my bad.
I do love that Emogan was a bigger part of this. I
Imogen.
like her. Whatever.
Emogan.
Emojin.
Listen, I read, so
Again, I call her that
because
because of Heartstopper. A character's name
Mhm.
is Emojin.
Yeah, Imogen. I wanted to find it before this talk, and I literally forgot after I was done reading this book. But there's
What?
a part in here that Imogen says to Violet, and it has something to do with like it was an innuendo or like an impliedness of like her getting her in bed.
Oh.
And she was literally like, "That's a shame. I'm fantastic."
Oh yeah.
she's
And
just
Violet's
funny.
like, "What the fuck?"
I just really like her.
She's like, "I would never
And-
say the name." She's like, "That's a shame. I'm fantastic in bed." Like,
Yeah,
here
I
you
remember
are.
that.
Thank you for
Yeah.
that. I cackled, and again, if I was not listening to an audiobook, which means I was driving when I heard that,
You're right.
I would have written it down. But I was driving, so stay safe out there, y'all.
Yeah. There's So
As I
we
totally
kind of
take
brought up
reaction videos and send them to you.
we already brought up the torture interrogation scene, but
Yeah.
also we didn't talk about what happens right after that.
Well, first she gets saved from torture because Xaden takes a bunch of Wavering dead
Wyvern,
one
yeah.
and drops them at the border.
He's like, "You want to fuck with my woman?
So like
Get wrecked."
all of the professors from the school basically have to go try and cover that up.
Yeah.
Because
So
no one
Xaden-
knows.
Right, no one knows
The kids
about these
can't know,
monsters.
the
So
cadets.
Xaden's able to break into the school and break Violet out.
And then
And that's when they take half the fucking school
and
body
he's
with
like
them.
he's like ready to destroy Dane. And
Yeah.
Violet's like, "No,
No.
hear him out.
So they
Tentative truce."
Dane calls a formation and they like lay out all the facts to everybody. And they're
Mhm.
like, here's your choice, come with us or stay. And like
Yeah.
half the
And
student
most,
body
a good
and
chunk of them go.
whatever teachers were left, not all of them, but most of them went.
Yeah, like it was like only like 3 teachers that ended
Yeah,
up going.
but
though.
there was
Yeah.
only like 4 of them there. And the
That's
one
fair.
that did stay was like, I have to stay with the dragons, basically.
Like I can't.
His name starts with a K.
Yeah,
Corey,
Yeah.
Kari, I don't remember.
right.
But then they go off to Secret Land, which is
Secret-
Dane,
right.
or not Dane,
Is
Xaden's
house.
the Ryerson house.
Yes.
And that is a fantastic area where they try to put up the wards and they fail twice, but only mildly succeed that second time.
Mhm.
Kat is a menace and tries to rile up because her power is manipulating emotions.
Right.
She's
So anything that
Jasper.
she can heighten your jealousy.
But the whole
Jasper.
thing-
Jasper on crack.
yeah. But the only reason Kat's there is because they go to what's his
Yes.
face to try
No,
and
she goes. Violet
She-
goes.
yes, she
and
goes
Xaden wasn't
behind Xaden's back because
And
he didn't want
Xaden
her to
beats
go.
him there, and he's like, "You think I wouldn't have known?"
Because they needed something to
They needed.
They
yeah,
needed
light-
the thing to
the
help the
light
ward.
thing.
whatever.
Yeah.
So they could make the blades to kill the venom is
Yeah,
what they needed.
They needed the
Um,
material, the machine to make the blades.
And basically the deal that they came to after they almost killed Violet because they wanted a demonstration from her
Yeah.
was that the Griffin Riders needed to go with them so that they could train together. And they went on this like pseudo parapet through the mountains.
Yeah,
Because
which
the
is, like,
Griffins can't fly over the mountains.
because it's too narrow and it's too high, and then it's already too narrow for them to be even able to like climb and whatnot, and they almost die on that.
Yeah.
And there's a whole thing where Kat is also still mad at them because, but one person from each side goes over the cliff, and instead of being able to save the Griffin rider, Violet saves the cadet.
Not
And-
by choice.
not by
It's just
choice.
how it happened.
It's just how it happened.
It's on a sword. They decide to use the sword, hilt, whatever thing, as a way
Oh,
to
yeah.
walk
Yeah,
across.
and they're, like going over, and like things go wrong.
Yeah.
Which is also where, if you saw that one interview, before
No.
the book came out, you didn't, but I'm talking to the people.
No.
Where Rebecca was like, "I can give you one line that'll wreck all of you," and she goes, I reached for Dane's belt buckle, and everyone's like, "It's gotta be
Ah.
a spicy scene." No, it's
It wasn't,
literally
it
to like
wasn't.
staunch bleeding to save Riddick. Was it Riddick or was it?
Yeah.
I
No.
think
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Yeah,
It
it
was
was.
Riddick that was
Yeah, it
dying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Riddick was dying. And
But
Riddick is a saving grace in this book. If you read it for nothing else, read it for Riddick.
I
He is my
enjoyed this
sassy
book,
kid,
though.
and I loved it.
Yeah,
I really
they're
did.
like
My favorite part was when Mira showed up.
Yes.
And she was like-
sees Brennan and goes,
and punches
And
him.
she fucking
and
punches
he's like,
him.
"Oh shit! All right, here we go."
He's like, there.
He's like, "I can
Yeah.
mend you,
But,
no
like,
problem. Mending
so-
myself hurts."
Basically, after Zayden pulled his stunt on the border, Violet's mom went around and was like, "Yeah, it's true. You can go join them or stay." And
And Mira comes and
Mira
is
and
like,
like have her
Brennan?
like squad or whatever goes.
which also their mom didn't know that Brennan was still
she
alive.
did not, and there's this heartbreaking scene because it is heartbreaking.
Can we go back to that scene
Yeah,
with the
yeah, yeah.
Griffiths? What are they called
Yeah.
again? Griffins? Gryffindors?
Griffins.
What are-
Griffins. No,
So-
Griffins.
Gryffindors?
Gryffindors.
Like the mythical creature
Trademarked.
Griffin, half horse,
Okay.
half.
Okay, so the Griffins.
Lion,
You know,
bird
the thing with
Yeah.
them is that they're both double tied. So once the human dies, the rider, the flyer dies,
Mhm.
they also die as well. So, you know, there's a scene when the Griffin is dying is in they're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"Oh," and you know what? Puckett pops out and eats his fucking head off. A waving. I literally was like,
yes.
I was like, did I fucking read that shit right?
Yeah.
I literally
And Violet's
had
like,
to go
"Shit,
back.
You can't see in the cloud cover.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
That was
Violet's
a whole
like,
thing.
"Get me up there. Everybody run. I'm just going to attack the cloud cover." And she
Yeah,
does.
I
That
personally
was pretty
really
badass how she did it, yo.
I personally really liked that scene. I feel
Mhm.
like we're not like giving just some of these action scenes, and
The action was good.
Yeah, when
It
things
was.
happened, it was good. It was just anything before, in between all of that.
like the part
where,
one.
like, the world building was very boring.
I love world building.
But it
I
was
don't.
boring. You can't tell me that
For
wasn't
me,
boring.
for me, it's
I
not
enjoyed this
boring.
so much.
I
It was
enjoyed this
still a
book
four-star
too.
read.
But so basically, after they take half the school with them, they
Make a new school.
well no they
Yeah.
the old schools.
Oh,
like,
okay, that's
they-
before that one.
They know an attack is coming. Because the general can see the future, and he sees
Yeah.
that there's an attack coming that they're going to lose. So they ask them to come meet with them. Basically, ask them to come help.
Mhm.
And
They're like, no.
that's the moment, like in that meeting, is when
Brennan.
Violet's mom sees Brennan, and it's like this
she's like,
heartbreaking.
"My
she like
child?"
shatters for a minute.
And he's like, you're
Yeah.
not my mom anymore.
Yeah, and he was like, "Fuck you."
But with that whole thing, they're like begging for their assistance, and they're like, "No, you can rot. Goodbye." So
How do
then
y'all
they try to
feel
do the thing,
about
and then
That
Everyone's
gave
saying
me-
"f you" to innocent people.
That gave me the ick because like their whole thing is like save this innocent people
Yeah.
outside of our borders, and they were like,
What about the inside?
right?
Yeah,
They were like,
But I
"No,
think-
fuck you guys."
yeah. It was very much give them the choice to leave, but this college can burn.
Yeah.
You don't need it. But that they didn't realize that actually they do need it, because if the college dies, then like they can get to the hatching ground,
Right.
and like all this other stuff.
And luckily,
happens,
they
like,
figured
blah, blah,
out what
blah.
the actual plan was.
Yeah.
But
Which is why.
So,
Violet was like,
I
"They
know
can't
we,
see it because we're there to help."
yeah,
I know we already mentioned his name, but we didn't exactly say it properly. But you know what? Jack is back. How'd y'all
fucking
feel?
Barlow.
Jack fucking Barlow.
That's the
end of-
exact text
the
I sent
end
her.
of chapter 25, which
Ugh.
my coworker literally was like, "Can I request a reaction from you from a specific chapter? Will that spoil
Mhm.
anything?" And I'm like, "No, you can ask me." And she's like, "When you get to 25, text me." And I was like, "Okay." And I was like, "It's probably Spice or something." And she's
Yeah.
like, "Maybe." It's not. It is Jack fucking Barlow back from the dead,
They,
which
Yeah.
you
right?
learn later is because he's a fucking venom.
Oh.
Because there's a personality flip with him.
There
Where
is. He's like suddenly a very different person
he's
when
a
he comes
very nice
back from
person.
the dead.
He's like Violet,
And
he
everyone's
saves
like-
Violet once.
he does.
and
Yeah.
she's very confused.
And
as
everyone's
all
just
of us
like,
are.
"Oh, he must just have. He saw death. He's
yeah, he,
And no, it's
happy
because they
in
have
his
to
life.
keep her ass
he has
alive.
reached nirvana.
Right.
He understands. Buddhism is strong with him.
But like there's the Venom Overlord, whatever the fuck they call him, wants
Him.
Violet,
Yes.
which she keeps seeing him in her dreams, and I don't think those are just dreams.
No. I
I
Do you,
think they are
did you think they were
communicating with her.
also I would feel like they are also, because on one hand I was like, okay, they're talking directly to Violet in the dreams, right? Obviously.
Yeah,
But then also I was thinking, what if there's Aiden's dreams too? Because exactly at the end, when the guy was like talking to Zayden,
Mm-hmm.
at the end is exactly how it played out in the dreams for Violet.
True.
So
premonition. What if it's premonition?
Potentially, because those dreams they weren't dreams.
Yeah.
Like they were,
but like
very
warning signs.
conscious-esque.
So
they gave me very
that
much
was
like Harry Potter Horcrux dream vibes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like that they're not just dreams, but they're not maybe
Yeah.
necessarily what's actually happening, because Harry's dreams were like what was actually happened, but like it was something is happening there. But anyway, the Venom Overlord like wants Violet, so like I don't think killing her was ever an option to the Venom. They're trying to capture her
because that'd be freaking useful. Because he even says like
they like want
the
power.
the one chick was like, oh, he'd have like to be able to use you or whatever, it'd be great.
So I feel like whatever the Venom are searching for needs Violet to activate it. Like whatever, like electricity, because they're searching for something too. That's why they're like ransacking those towns and stuff.
What do you think they're searching for?
Well,
I don't think we have enough information.
What is a Venom? A Venom is someone who took power from the ground,
directly from the world, and
is now addicted to power, so they need more, which is why they are corrupted. So they're searching for.
I'm imagining some kind of power source that they can like almost maybe like it allows them to tap in
infinitely and not need to like actively touching,
or something, or some kind of like amplifier of sorts for them,
which is probably again why Violet second signet might be amplification, because that's why they want her so much. Is because if she becomes Venom, then she is the conduit. She can amplify all of them,
right? But so what we learn through Jack Barlow is that
his dragon,
which is dead.
Yeah,
he killed it.
He killed it, and then it comes back as a corpse that he is able to control. Which another thing is, he's like, see how easily I was able to control her?
Yep.
We are in control of the dragon. It's not the other way around. And I'm like...
What?
So what you learn is that Venom can in fact exist within their wards, but also Jack isn't like a full-blown Venom yet.
Yes. No, they even have in this book like
he does. So like by the end, like he's probably pretty close there, because then he like actually kills Babe too.
So like, do you think what's the one dragon again with the one eye? It starts with
like a C or something.
It's an S.
An S?
I'm pretty sure.
Solas.
Maybe
something. Whatever. So basically,
that's
because they're doing the practice or whatever. They're like, oh, whoever gets this thing has a weekend off or whatever, and then the one-eyed dragon pops up, and obviously shit happens, but that dragon dies. Well, if that dragon dies, Varnish is supposed to be dead, but we don't see. For one, we don't see Varnish die.
So he was dead before that. That's why the dragon was coming for her.
Yes.
Varnish was already dead. Oh, yeah. Because in the interrogation room.
Yeah, so that dragon was looking for revenge because Violet's the reason his rider died.
I remember now.
That's why he was going after her.
He was already going after her because his rider wanted him to. Now he's just like, well, this is personal now.
Right.
It was
stupid.
Yeah.
But you know what? They do have a line, though, in this one. They're like, oh, dragons can be... humans can sway the emotion of dragons, and so then they're like, oh, so then Varnish, you're the ones that you told the dragon basically to kill all those first years, or and so
you're the reason those people are dead.
Yeah.
So it gives me again Jack's dragon. I remember saying this in the first book, like why would Jack or that dragon, whatever its name is, pick Jack when it's clearly so evil? And you, Mary, you're like, well, they don't have to be good people to get chosen. Right. Well, fucking dragon, I bet you wish you would have not chosen it, huh? You fucking dumbass.
Who told me the signs of him being a Venom were in the first book, or was it a TikTok that I saw?
Oh, Jack being a Venom?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't tell you.
There were signs for Jack in the beginning.
Like, after it was revealed, I feel like I saw a video that said they went back and, like, looked at mentions of his eyes being red in Fourth Wing.
There's mentions definitely of her mom. There's significant mentions, I think, between both books of her mom always being tired and having, like, slight red eyes, which is a lot of people thinking that's why she had the sickness. That's where Violet's sickness came from, is because her mom is Venom. And that's why she never really leaves the wards.
Right.
Because she really
Well,
doesn't.
according to Jack, there is more there.
Yeah, he's not the only one.
He's not the only one. And then, spoilers, Xaden is also not the only one, which that fucking broke my heart, but also kind of saw that coming.
But here's
how often they talked about Venom.
Thing. If the two of them had just opened their mental airways and just talked to each other for like 30 seconds and been like, "Nah, I'm good, I'm not dead." Wouldn't have happened.
Oh, but like, would you say that? I mean, like, I understand, like, a lot of part of this book, it was them or her mostly cutting each other off.
Yeah.
They're like, in terms of like, oh, I'm annoyed, or like, oh, I'm hurt, or whatever. But at the end, like, when you're in a battle, you can't be thinking and worrying about someone else.
Well, like,
so on one hand,
they didn't want to like distract each other, but also they were making very irrational decisions because they thought the other one was dying.
Violet was so very angry with Xaden this entire time for having the audacity to have secrets.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, do you know everything about your husband? No. I'm sure you guys don't keep many secrets, but I'm sure he has a secret from you.
I just
like,
because there's like a moment, right, where like, because you get like the parallel, right, and you get like Violet says, "Oh, I can feel him dying," and like the next Xaden's like, "Oh, I can feel her dying,"
or at least very much they're both in immense danger, like something is going to happen.
And if they had just like 30 seconds, not even 10 seconds, been like, "Are you good? I'm good." At
the very least, talk to Tanner Segale,
right? Like you
have other pathways.
There are 3 other minds that you could have spoken to.
Then like, is she good? It's cool.
It was giving me a Vampire Academy, to be honest.
I haven't read it.
I haven't read that one either.
So in Vampire Academy, I don't remember. It's been a very many years since I read it. But with the main guy, he turns bad basically because he gets infected by something and his eyes turn red, and they're like, oh, the love of my life, I have to go and rescue him. I don't remember how they do it, but maybe it's the cure of no, there's not a single part of me that remembers how he gets turned back to regular or whatever, but he does. I have the books. Maybe I'll reread them. I probably won't. But anyways, it was giving me the Vampire Academy vibes because, the love interest gets turned and he has to fight for the control or whatever. And so, one of the big things, obviously, about Xaden is the control. So do you think it will, how will it be?
I think we're still going to see him struggle, and I think he's probably going to go farther than where he currently is because this is book 2 and there's 3 more books.
Yeah.
I feel like, though, he will somehow prevail.
Yeah.
And then
like,
die.
I feel like maybe. I mean, they're all going to die at the end. I've accepted.
We all
fate.
die.
But like, I feel like, or potentially, maybe he comes across somebody else who has managed to like control the urge and not go.
That
farther.
happened in the Vampire Academy.
Right. So like, and I feel like that's how we're going to learn more about the Venom is through him and his experience. Like, learn
I hope that's when we get more of his POV because it would make more sense.
Agreed. I can't imagine what more secrets he's keeping.
I'm interested to see just how strained his relationship with Segale is now.
I mean,
because Segale,
she's not speaking to him at the end of this.
Segale was very.
She
upset
said, "I
she
chose you."
She's like, "I chose you," and he's like,
"But I choose." Well, I thought he said, "But I choose her," or some shit like that.
No, he said, "But Violet chose me too," and he needed to do that in order to survive. Like, he would have died. Segale might have lived, but like, he needed to live for Violet. Violet would not have survived that.
Yeah.
Especially coming off the tail end of the heart-wrenching scene that you 2 heartless bitches didn't apparently feel anything for.
Listen,
her mom dies.
Yeah, she gave her redemption arc and she got it by dying.
Yes.
But like, do you know how many people fucking died because of that woman?
Yes.
Exactly.
However, it's the way that she died. I wouldn't have cared if it was just like, yeah, her mom's dying. Good on you. Sacrifice. It was the manipulation that she did.
To Sloane.
She did.
Poor Sloane. Because
she's like,
because she's all get her in here. Because she's talking to Brennan, who was it, Brennan or whoever it was. He's like, what were their signets? I need.
She's talking to the prince.
Yeah.
Or the prince. Yeah, the prince. So he's like, this, and she drags Sloane in here, and she's like, I killed your brother. I whipped
killed
your parents
you.
in front of you.
Yeah.
Or I killed your
To
parents
get her
in front of you. I
upset,
made
you know, the
watch.
emotions.
Because- yeah,
to
because
make
she
her do
couldn't-
it because she's like, I can't.
Yeah.
And she's like, you will and you can. And then Violet's screaming, please don't kill my mom.
Yeah.
Like, please
Honestly,
don't do it.
I when she was doing that. Okay, so again, it was like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning when I was reading that part, right?
I was
I
sitting in
like,
that chair getting judged by my roommate because I'm like, listen, I didn't mean to cry, but I'm crying now.
but I was like, okay, she's gonna sacrifice herself, and she wants Sloane to get angry. But then she, like, as much as Sloane was like backing away, I was like, and I know she's like, you know, an amplifier or whatever the hell she is.
Mhm.
I forget exactly what it's called. I was like, do they want Sloane to sacrifice herself? What? But then I was like, no.
She was a conduit.
Yeah.
But-
But I was like, no, that doesn't make sense. So she's,
And the
you
way
know,
she was also-
sacrificing her mom.
Not only was she making her angry, she was also trying to comfort her and talk her through it. She's like, you don't have to do anything. Your magic will do it for you. All you have to do is hold on. And I'm like, and then she's emotionally manipulating her, making her angry on purpose to like force her magic to work. And then she like is like turning to Violet and Brennan. And Brennan's also very sad. He regrets after she dies that he was mean to her.
Yeah.
He's
I
like,
mean-
bullshit.
Well, I mean,
I
like,
thought
Brennan
I was gonna
has
have time to
points.
process and be angry and then be able to talk to her after all of this. But like,
She's
her
like,
mom
I'm
is
gonna go
literally
see
like-
him. Sure, her mom's like, I'm gonna
she's
go
like,
see
I'm
him
gonna
now.
be with him now. And I'm
Mhm.
like, not daddy.
Which I really do think.
Was it a letter
dad is dead.
that they found, or maybe it was like a different like little thing, like chapter header? But I remember reading something of like her writing something to the dad and being like, you know that if I go, I'll be going because it's in a way.
Oh,
that
it
protects
was
my
the mom.
family.
It
Yeah,
was
I know
the mom
I know
to
the
the
mom
dad.
says it, but I didn't know like if it was like something she
A
said
little-
and said to the kids, or if it was a little paragraph. Yeah,
A little
but
paragraph.
she literally says, you know that if I die in protecting my
Right.
children.
Yeah.
But it's like right after that, and I was like,
So, like I mentioned earlier, I went back and rewatched our first, for the fourth wing, and we
Mhm.
had some things in terms of like, we're like, maybe Mira's going to betray, or maybe Rihanna's gonna betray, maybe, and we're like, we said, the mom definitely knows that Brendan's definitely alive. Maybe we think the dad's secretly not dead. You know, we
Mhm.
had all these things. Well.
I'm
What
a
do we
firm
think
believer that her dad is dead. I don't think
Okay.
he.
I don't think her mom killed him though.
I
I would have believed it had I not read this book.
I
But
feel
the way
like
that she speaks about
maybe
him,
she
she's not the reason he died. She
Ma-
didn't. She didn't kill him herself.
potentially,
have
but
ordered
she
it.
was probably a part of it because I
Mm.
feel like he definitely realized what was happening in their archives and started piecing together
No,
the puzzle.
actually, I think she would have just been like, "This, I will not order the death of my husband. You do whatever you need to do. Protect this. I'm stepping away." She
was
probably gave that
complacent
order
in
to
it
somebody
at the
else.
very least.
Yeah, she probably was like, "You give me enough time to be able to say goodbye, but don't let my children do it. Like, you let me have like another day or two, so then no one
I
knows,
can see that.
and she can just have that time so she can process." And she's like, I'm not making that decision. I don't think she's the reason he died. I think she just stepped away from that decision and it happened. She didn't.
I
do
mean,
anything to
it's
stop it.
complacency, regardless,
Yeah.
and you turning a blind eye. But at the same time, everything we know about her mom, makes sense.
Everything she did was to protect her children, and after her father passed, she realized her daughter would not survive
Because
she knew her daughter was her father's daughter, so she would have followed the same route eventually. So she needed
So,
to get
yeah,
her away from the scribes.
we learn exactly why, she put her in the flyers, to try and, win that way or like survive that
Mhm.
way. And
She's
she's
like,
like,
"I
"Oh,
knew
I
you
thought you
would've."
hated she literally, Violet was like, "Oh, I thought you hated." You thought they were beneath you, the scribe. She's like, why would I do that? The love of my life was a scribe. Like, that doesn't make
Yeah.
sense.
She wanted so much for Violet to be a scribe, and then
To-
realized that it would not be a path that she would have survived.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She saw a chance of life with the
And,
writers,
she took
as
it.
opposed to certain death.
Mhm.
And she there. Let's talk about not only the fact that Indarna is like some secret seventh race of dragon, as
Mhm.
she made a quote or made a little snide remark of like, maybe I'll be the head of my own den.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Maybe that Taryn. And everyone's like, haha, yeah, Indarna's gonna be the head. Like, whatever. She literally would be, because she waited
She's the only
650
one.
years to hatch. She was
Until
like
she
the
would,
head.
until
And she
Violet was
also-
18
And she-
too.
yeah,
I was gonna
she's
say
like,
she
I waited
said
for you.
I felt you or something. It was very sweet.
And it was,
Which makes
I
me
knew
think
that
of
you would have the heart-
premonition.
Yeah, you would have the mind of a scribe and the heart of a writer, and you would be mine. And I'm like,
was like,
A dragon
sweet.
has the best love confession? Excuse me?
So,
What?
have y'all
A
ever seen
child?
Charmed? Have y'all ever seen
Yes.
Charmed, the TV show?
The original?
So,
Yeah.
of course. So, Piper, one of the sisters,
Yes,
she
yes,
can,
yes.
well, there's different things, obviously, but, like, oh my god, Piper can stop time. Phoebe
Mhm.
has premonitions. I mean, like, what if there's things, like, is there a connection
I
with
mean,
between stopping time and premonitions?
I feel like something time related because that was like the original thing she could do, and that
Yeah.
can be like very abstract in how it's related to time. But
And if
some form of
my idea of Violet dreaming about the guy, and later on, or like hey, you're gonna give me my beat, blah, 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 and then the
Yeah.
guy at the end telling Zayden like the exact same thing, basically. Either they were both being communicated with the big bad dude, or
Yeah.
she was actually having a dream premonition type thing.
Here's a thought. What if her power was always the same, and it was that she needed to stop time in those instances, which is why that power manifested. Is that it has always been, it is whatever you need to happen. So her power at that time when Indarna was a little baby she needed to stop time.
Yeah.
So she used it sparingly, so as not to kill Indarna. And now that she is like a almost fully fledged dragon, that power still is the same in essence, but she no longer needs to stop time. She needs to do something else.
Right. Theories.
Because if Indarna's scalage is not one color and it is all a rainbow, which is encompassing all colors, why could she not then encompass all power? And just manifest whatever she needs. Yeah. She changes to she adapts to what is needed.
And then again, the fact that she was like, I waited till you were 18 and then was, like hatched or whatnot. Well, that goes into like
that you're the hatchet.
I mean, like, it goes in, like, is there
she's like connected to the universe somehow to know that inside.
Yeah, and it's like, is there like a timey-wimey sort of premonition and that aspect sort of thing?
Very interesting.
So the more I think about it, I'm like, okay, maybe either premonition might be, or it can be something adjacent, sort of like Zayden does with time, mind reading. Because Zayden's is not mind reading; it's more of like, okay, thinking about this person's
intentions.
Yeah.
Exactly. There's a character in an anime called Jujutsu Kaisen where he's like that, but he sees the intentions as movements, like in like comics, drawings and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool, actually.
Sounds fun.
Is anyone else getting like Game of Thrones vibes?
I haven't watched or read it, but sure.
Especially in like the 7th season of like, oh, fuck these people, and the dragons breathing like blue flames and green flames, and all of this mashup of crazy fighting in the air. My particular, we're talking about not getting enough flowers for the fights. I loved it when they were jumping off each other's dragons and landing and doing all this fucking shit.
They were doing some
so they learned how to
shit.
do like barrel rolls and shit.
Yeah.
In this one.
Yeah.
And then Violet
and weave
cuts herself
signs,
out of
whatever.
Yeah. Violet literally cuts herself out of her harness so that she can go save
Sawyer.
Yeah.
And Rhiannon sees it and like jumps on the dragon with her and is literally like, I'm gonna save your ass, go save his. And then she jumps off of a dragon to another dragon. So she jumps off his hand, jumps onto Sawyer's dragon, and runs down the length of the dragon. Like, she makes eye contact with the dragon. Is like, I'm gonna do this. I hope you're okay with that. Please don't kill me. I'm gonna save your rider. Like, you just need to know that.
Do you ever think that dragons are too
so good?
What?
The fight scenes were so good.
They were very entertaining.
Yeah, but do you ever feel like the dragons are too temperamental? Like, bitch,
they definitely got some tempers.
I feel
like I get it
in their own right.
Like, I get it, but also at the same time, I'm like, bitch, let me look
Grow
at
up.
you.
Right?
Adult.
Like, listen, we all just want a vibe here.
Yeah,
You're a cool
exactly.
dragon. I'm a lit writer. Let's just vibe.
I really liked the flyers and the Griffiths. Actually, they're like
Mhm.
because they're talking about their graduation system. They're like, yeah, we like basically Navy SEAL this shit, but like we don't die. We just like if we can't,
Right? They're like, if you
Like-
don't land on a griffin, it's fine. You could just try again.
you just like
Yeah.
we're just gonna swim.
If you don't
We're
land
just
on the
gonna-
dragon, you're done for. Sorry, bye.
like they're literally killing their cadets for no
Yeah.
reason.
Like,
It doesn't
yeah,
make sense.
As a war college that needs
Right, and that's,
warriors,
like,
why are
kind
you
of,
killing
like-
your warriors.
They were started, like, as they were talking with the griffin riders, they were like, oh, like, do we need to die?
You know what? You're right. Maybe I could just try again and do better. Seeing as Taryn should have let Violet die 400 times over,
Right.
and he didn't.
Yeah.
Doesn't- I also would like to like I know I already call that dragon a bitch because it is, but Jack's dragon, like
Mhm.
that's interesting. Like if you the fact that he survived after killing his dragon, because everyone's like, oh, you know, it'll be
Venom.
5 minutes,
Well,
you
he
know.
sucked his life power out, probably.
No,
Yeah.
no, cause I know because it's a venom, but it's like
Mhm.
it'll be interesting. Like, what if you can become the venom or whatever and learn to control it, and then what does that exactly do to again the connection between Seagal, whatever, and Zayden. So
Yeah.
it will be interesting.
I am interested to see what this means moving forward. I'm also, like, interested to see, like, where it's going. Like, the fourth wing ended with a very obvious cliffhanger.
Mhm.
And I
Yeah.
feel like this did not. Like,
Yeah.
This just gave me trauma.
this just...
Truly.
So, like, I can't decide where it's going from here.
I would imagine we're gonna get more characters from the other kingdoms that the main kingdom kind of was
Mhm.
like fuck you, we don't need you sort of thing. I imagine we're
Right.
gonna get some more people from there because because they literally told him I was like, well, we're not gonna help you. Why don't you go ask help for the other people? Like, oh right, that's right, you
Mhm.
closed the borders.
Right, yeah.
So I'd imagine we're gonna get characters from there. I'm actually really interested to see what other creatures have made a bond with humans. Like obviously we know
Mm.
dragons, we know the Griffiths,
Right.
but like what
I
else?
mean, yeah.
That'd be interesting to see. And
Maybe there's
then
unicorns.
I was gonna say, you know?
A beaver.
so it'd be interesting.
Here's something I don't think I will ever get an answer to.
Hmm.
Who is Andarna going to breed with if she's the last of her kind?
Maybe she can unisex it, and they become its internal.
mean,
Lays her own egg.
Valid, but also, like, does it have to be two of the same dragon?
I feel
Because,
like-
like, Segale and Terran aren't the same dragon.
But
Do
no,
they have
they're
kids?
from their own.
No, but, like,
I mean, I guess, yeah, you don't have to be the same
they
dragon. to,
have
like, a
sex, so,
mate.
like, that, you could
Yeah.
produce an egg from that.
That's fair.
So,
I'm
like,
stupid, but still, who's she gonna be?
It's valid. She's also, like, still a child, so it's
Yeah,
not happening
'cause
anytime
there's-
soon.
Because
But
there's like no guarantee that whatever she lays is gonna be her.
there
line
wouldn't
of
be.
dragon.
It'd be
So,
like a 50-50 shot,
Yeah.
theoretically.
Do we need
Like, I don't
the
think it
Phoenix
needs to
cubes
be-
or whatever they're called again?
Yeah,
The Bennett squares.
Punnett squares.
Listen, genetics scares me. We don't need to go too far into
They do
it.
scare me. But that was my best science. I just want that to be known. I loved those squares.
Listen, all I
understand
can
them
tell
so
you
well.
is my little sister and my older brother look alike, but they're not even fucking related, so I can't figure it out.
Genetics.
It's
Like, there's a trend on TikTok going on
Have
right
you-
now.
you're
Maybe have
talking
y'all
about-
seen it?
like
Yeah, Maya and Mike not related, look alike. I don't get it.
no, yeah.
Have y'all seen that trend on TikTok where like someone will show like an old photo of like some old relative that died or
Mhm.
whatever, and the next slide is like, and this is my daughter. They never met and they looked exactly like them.
I have not
Have you
seen
ever-
that.
It's pretty
No.
wild because it's like, damn,
Oh.
they really are the same person.
Interesting.
I do love our random tangents that we go on that have absolutely nothing to do with these books, but we say something and then left field somehow connects.
I
fine,
mean,
it's fine.
honestly, it's your fault. You brought up.
I listen. I just needed to know. I thought it was a dumb question towards the end of this to like liven it up. Like we
Mm.
talked about some heavy shit.
So any more theories going forward? Because you're right. It will be kind of hard to see where we go from there. I would imagine they're like, well, this is what happened. Now we got to regroup, and then obviously Zayden will. I would imagine he's gonna be like, no, obviously, we kind of talked about this
Right.
fighting or whatever, and then maybe one of the No.
They're gonna have to like rebuild to a degree too. Like they can't necessarily go back to Zayden's home because they can't raise those wards.
Yeah, they can't raise those wards. She literally is like, I can only raise one of them.
Yeah.
What do I raise? And he's like, you gotta save
Yeah.
it. I was like, yes.
So like they're gonna have to like bring those dragons back to protect them, and
good luck with that.
There are like hatchlings over there that they brought with them, right? Because half the dragons went with them.
Yeah.
So like there's gonna be some form of regrouping and probably like hierarchy change because like the resistance.
Do you think at the end of this,
Zayden
will be the king? He'll like take up his proper, chair, crown, or whatever.
No, they're all dying at the end of this.
Yeah. Do you think they're keeping him being a venom a secret?
I don't think he's going to tell anyone. No, I'm pretty sure right now.
I think everyone knows that Jack is, but
everyone does. I know right now. Zayden and Violet and Sigale and Taryn are the only ones that know.
Yeah. So is that going to stay a secret? Or is that going to come out in book 3, or do you think it'll be like a book 4 or 5 thing?
I'm unsure.
Also, do you think Violet will follow? Do you think she will be venom, or do you think she'll fight hard enough to get him back?
I think she'll fight. She's very much a
heroine.
For the greater good.
Also, do you think maybe she'll fall out of love with him again? Because even Sigale's like, be careful what you say to him right now.
Yeah.
I got so tired of that. Like,
either you love him or you don't. Accept him or don't. Like,
but
please.
like, I'm gonna be honest. He kind of ruined. How many times were they arguing and fighting? And listen, I love some makeup sex. Give me some spice. But the amount of times where they. But like, it's
my
like,
house, my chair, my woman. That's it.
No, that was annoying. They didn't even have sex. He just like ate her out.
That is sex, is that not?
No, it's
not penetrative.
That's a foreplay.
Hey, got her off. So,
but then because he like let her in his mind and everything, and I was like, ooh, maybe like imagine if they had like proper sex with their shields down, let the dragons in on that shit too.
Bonus chapter, I want it.
Taryn is very much her father.
No,
I'm sorry.
He's
no.
a grumpy old
He's
man.
like a great
Rebecca's
step uncle.
English bulldog.
He is.
That's
he's
not
like
a lie.
He's like a step uncle.
A step uncle.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say one of my favorite Harper quotes,
Okay.
which is literally Zayden being like, "How long do you think it takes someone to fall out of love with them?" And he tells her a secret, and it was the fact that he was an intrinsic, and it's like, can you read memory or read thoughts? And she's like, "Huh," and he's like, "Less than a minute," and I wanted to cry.
Yeah,
because he realized that she was like untrusting of him, because that is why she didn't trust Dane, is because he was taking her memories and reading them. And like,
but he stopped doing
secrets. And then Zayden is essentially doing the same thing, even though he only really did it in the beginning when he wasn't with her.
But like, but then she was all like,
that she was safe.
She literally said to him, or like she thought to herself, I kind of thought about it. Basically, I realized he didn't say anything because he wanted to live. Well, no fucking shit, Violet. Are you fucking stupid?
When he realized there was another intrinsic around, he's like, "You better start spewing words."
Yeah,
because he will read your thoughts and let them out if you got any secrets.
But she was just so frustrating for no reason. It's like,
yeah, that's what was really annoying about this book, is that she was so angry at him for having the audacity to have secrets, which like, try and let her in. However, he could not trust her because of Dane. And
but also,
not because he didn't want to trust her. It's because he could not let any more information go than.
But also her. She's all like, he's well, okay. How do you feel about this? Do you feel like it's a manipulation on his part, or do you think she's just chicken shit? It's like, okay, well, ask me. And she was too chicken shit to ask him the proper questions. No. Or what? How do you feel about that?
That stupid question thing was just a reason to make this book longer. First of all, if they needed to be honest with each other, he should have just been like, "What do you need to know? What is it?"
He said that so many times, though.
They get to before he finally spills that secret, which is the one thing he wasn't prepared for her to ask. He's like, "You're not asking the right questions." I'm like, "So then guide me, because I don't fucking know what to ask."
No,
and
she
then
does.
I get mad when you know things. She does know what to ask, and he like tries to push her to ask it, but still, there are some things that like how is she supposed to know what to ask if you don't tell me anything? I have no information to go off of other than you're keeping secrets. So what am I supposed to ask?
I don't.
I feel like part of it was
no.
But it should have just been like a like 10 or 12 page chapter
I mean,
It
of like
definitely
them
wasn't.
having questions and just having a conversation. It should not have been the entire book of being like, you're not asking the right
the
question.
way
That's
I
not the
read
right
it was
question.
like he wanted her to not only like ask questions that he knew that she could intellectually come to on her own if she just used her brain, but also like for her to like show some kind of interest in like knowing him as a person.
She said,
Yeah.
he
And-
literally said, give this
And
relationship
Violet
a
was
chance.
very much like I don't need the small talk, like give me the big things. Like she was kind of pushing off the like knowing him as a person.
Yeah.
So
Which
like
is, I guess I see that he wanted her to know him before he gave her all of the important like life-ending details.
Like,
you
literally-
very much have been intimate this entire time, and she does not want to leave you.
A hole is
she
a hole
wants to know you,
sometimes.
so tell her that stuff.
But at the same, like, again, literally, they've known each other a year, right? Basically.
Not even. They don't know each other at all.
So
actually.
it's like,
They just
literally,
got
this
physical
guy-
immediately.
This dude has been survivor mode his entire fucking life.
mhm.
I don't expect him, and I'm a rational sort of person, to
But
like,
if you
here's
think
my all
about
my
it-
secrets.
He slowly was letting her in, and then
It wasn't enough for her.
indirectly between decisions that both him and her made, indirectly she is the reason that his best friend died. Would you also want to let someone else in?
I don't
closer
think he.
than that,
I don't
knowing
think he
that
blames
the
her. Though.
closest part he doesn't. But like, I can see his hesitation if like the new person you finally were letting in is the reason the closest person to you, other than that, is now gone.
But I
whether
would also
indirectly
say
or
he was
not.
more worried about like her secret, about her safety as well.
Yeah, he was very much more worried about her, which is why he put Liam there. I feel like it always should have been Imogen, but like they would not have had a good relationship. Also,
It
why
wouldn't
is
work.
Liam? Well, I guess it is co-ed. It doesn't really matter. It's a co-ed. It was not very much split. I was like, why is there a boy there? Why shouldn't it have been a woman? They did not split up the rooms.
Do y'all want to talk about something lighthearted for just a moment?
Sure.
Sure.
How do y'all feel about Sawyer's crush on what's her name?
Justinia.
Yeah,
Cute.
he wants to learn how to
Honestly.
sign.
I
Yes.
love. Is it Sawyer with the crush?
Yeah.
Okay, I love that Riddick taught him not
Like-
the good, not the right.
He's
sign
like,
language.
you want to
Yeah.
fuck?
And she's just like, she's like, honey, no.
I love that so many of the Relic kids know sign language. Like that's really
I do
fun.
love that.
Like, why do they know that? That's something that we
Valid
don't.
question.
That we need
One
to
of
know.
the
It's
theories
like, why do
I
they all
saw
know sign
between
language?
Fourth Wing and this was that Liam's sister was deaf, and that clearly wasn't the case because she's
Mm.
not. But like, I
Hey,
wonder
Katie,
if.
can you do me a favor? Can you come
Huh.
closer to the camera?
Ugh, my back hurts, Lucia.
But I couldn't barely hear you, Katie.
So one of the theories between Fourth Wing and Iron Flame was that Liam's sister was deaf, and that's not the case. But I'm
Mm.
curious if maybe someone else in the Resistance was.
Maybe.
Isn't that interesting though that they banished and like made so many languages dead languages because they refused to acknowledge them, and yet sign language still prevails. Interesting.
My theory is maybe somebody could have been deaf, sure, but what if that's how they were? The only way they could communicate was with sign language. There was a language that not everyone knew, but it
Mm.
was still accessible because there were people who needed to know it.
Right.
Because I don't believe that everyone at this guy knows sign language clearly. If not
Yes.
all of the people do, but like
Unless it was just a convenient thing that everyone
Yeah.
of his friends knew except for him.
Right.
because
Which,
do
you know,
all
fine.
of the Relic people know, or just his inner circle? Granted, all of them are kind of like very close, but
Yeah.
they're closer ones, which would be Imogen and Mira
Good
and Liam, and so many of them are gone.
Most of them are dead.
Yawning
They're
is
all very much
contagious.
Listen, it's so late.
It is so
I'm
late.
so
And it's also
tired.
not a book talk if I am not yawning. I yawn literally all the time. And
What
I'm
are
so
our
sorry.
final thoughts? Because I still have to drive home for 20 minutes.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think this was better than Fourth Wing, but I think it is still very important to continue the
It's
series.
definitely important. You can't just go book 1 and 3 in this one. It doesn't make
It very
sense.
much, honestly, yeah. But I mean, like, this very
Can you
much,
imagine?
since we keep referencing Twilight to this very much gave me the new moon effect of, it was necessary, but I could have skipped it.
Listen, there weren't 12 blank pages in this book.
I don't see how anyone
yeah,
can. I don't,
it wasn't blank, it had one word.
I don't understand how anyone can say this is a skippable book in terms of plot line. Like it's so.
not a skippable book, but like I would skim it. That's what I do. With
Like
the
as a
reread, is
reread?
yeah, when I reread it, I skim it.
Okay. that
Like
makes
I would literally just be like, cool, cool, cool,
I-
and here's the good part. Like,
Okay.
I feel
Well,
like
it's-
I would read this so much faster if half of the book didn't exist. Like
I-
it could have been consolidated.
I love the mundane in books because it makes them feel more real.
Yeah,
I
don't
agree.
like it when
I-
books go too fast. Like you need to have a little bit of fluff and like spend
Some
a little
filler.
bit of time somewhere.
Right.
But like this felt like so much filler. And then the action scenes weren't long enough.
It is
To
the
justify
filler.
it.
It's the second book.
Yeah. But I mean there are some second books in series that are significantly better than the rest of the series.
It's true.
Where like the
Sometimes they
second
are.
book was the only good book in the series. Or at least the best book in the series.
Any last thoughts for you, Katie?
I liked it more than Fourth Wing.
Did
I liked seeing more of the world. I liked the character arcs.
Mm-hmm.
I think I liked learning more about someone other than Violet and Xaden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked learning more about Kat's uncle, and in terms of like he's a collector, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, like I wonder, well, that like he literally brought a venom, whatever they're called, just to test her ass. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Honestly, I think I just don't like relationship conflict. I like battle conflict, and this was a lot of relationship conflict in here.
No, I agree. Like there was a lot of that shit was unnecessary. To again, you know, y'all heard how I felt about her being an emotional wreck, but at the same time, like it makes sense. So, like whatever.
Mhm.
I have one last question, and then we can like basically wrap it up. Okay.
Mhm.
From this book alone, what was your favorite sex scene?
There's only like one.
Literally,
No, there
there's
wasn't.
literally
They had-
two.
They had sex multiple times.
The only one that I can still remember in my brain was my house, my chair, my woman.
The only one I also remember is the throne scene.
Which is
Literally,
where
the
he
very
gets
first
twice
one
in
is the very first one. Like he
Yeah,
literally,
he does like come back, but it's not that explicit.
because they're like I would say it's more explicit than
You
the
know,
third one.
I did also enjoy the shower.
I forgot about the shower. Actually,
That's the first one. That's like now because he was all like, well, no, we're not gonna have sex. You have to be in this, you know. And she's like, but I want your
Mhm.
dick, you know. And he's like,
I missed you.
and he's like, did
"But
you
you're
miss
still
my
mad at
heart?
me. But you're still
Yeah.
mad at
Which
me."
you know, I appreciate him for doing that. Actually, he's not
Yeah.
just a stick of meat, even though he
He
is.
is laying out his boundaries, and I respect that.
Yeah.
and he's literally like, I think some time away will be good for us, you know.
Right.
And boy, howdy was it.
But also, y'all got steamy in the shower.
Yeah.
I feel like that scene was better than the throne scene.
See, what I liked about the throne scene was that it was all about her. Because when she tried to reciprocate, he's like, "No, I need you to know that I'm in this.
Valid.
That I want
I did
you,
appreciate
and it's
that.
not about me.
Yeah.
Like, just let me cool off for a second. We'll be fine."
But also, I would have loved to see some more action on that throne.
Yeah, maybe book
And,
3.
yeah. I mean, I
Mm.
can only imagine how hot that Ben's sex is going to be. Because he's going to be they
More
already
power.
Can control their power, and now
Right.
he's just like, let me. suck the life
Well,
out
that's
of
what I'm
you
saying. Maybe it'd actually
from
be
this
good.
area specifically.
Well, maybe it would be good for them that he's a Venom. Whenever I said that word, I fucking think of the Venom song from Venom. 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 I know it's not how you say it, but that's what I keep thinking about it. Venom.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, well that was.
Where did
I
I
don't
rate
really
this
have any more theories because again of how they left it off. Obviously, it'll be interesting to see how they pick up. I'm still
Mhm.
excited to see
Yeah.
where it where it
How
picks
do
up.
you guys feel about
I did give it 5 stars.
how underwhelming the hype got after this book released? Because there was so much hype for this book, and then it just kind of died.
Well, it's because we
It
don't know when
did.
anything else is coming.
Yeah. Do we?
Yeah,
think
that's true.
that
The
the
fourth
next book is
wing-
gonna have as much hype as both of these have had, or do you think it's actually gonna like
Die
calm
out.
down and be a normal hype for books?
I don't
I
know
think it's going to
because they
depend
got a
on
lot
how
of fans.
quickly it comes out on its heels. Although
I don't want it within a year. Like I don't. I want it at
No,
least
this
a
isn't
year
the publishing
later.
company that people are mad at.
Actually,
No, that's
we should
the
talk
other.
about real quick about all of the misprints and messed up things.
So the biggest theory on why that happened is because they use multiple different
Yeah, so
printing
if you-
companies,
If you open this one, which
and
is my perfect
instead
edition,
of like giving or following the guidelines for each different printing company, they just sent one file and said figure it out.
well, actually, first of all, if you look at the map between these two books, this one is much lighter than that one is.
You could tell they were rushed. Even my fourth wing, like the edges are really sloppy.
This one was printed in Venice, which is why it has the misprint up here, which is .n space names, whereas this one is a perfect edition because it has it the way that it needs to be, and it was printed in the United States. And
why does this have
I showed you earlier, it has chapter 17 is missing a dragon.
I've never actually read this. It has a disclaimer to tell you that this isn't real.
That the events of this book are not real.
This is fictional. That's what this says. This book is a work of fiction. Names, characters, places, and incidents are product of the author's imagination or are used fictitiously.
Maybe because
they gotta tell you that shit.
I mean, that's in a lot of books, actually.
I've never noticed that before.
I feel like that's in like every fantasy book ever.
I don't ever read.
Neither do I. I only read this page to see that it is a first edition.
What I did appreciate was the trigger warning in the front of this.
I didn't read that because again, I didn't see that.
Well, you read the audiobook, so
yeah.
I don't know if the audiobook gave you the trigger warning.
They probably did, but again, 2 times speed, I don't listen to it.
I enjoy that books are starting to put trigger warnings in because
they
they're
need to.
Yeah.
But I think they shouldn't be like 4 pages in. I think they should be on the back of the book as well.
No, I don't. I like to get wrecked emotionally.
I mean, same. I want to raw dog it, but like I appreciate it
wherever it has the description of the book, it should also say either reference this page for triggers or have the actual triggers listed.
They do that a lot on
Kindle. It should immediately say, this book has triggers. This is the event. This is what the story's about.
Yeah.
Or this is what the story's about. See page 3 for triggers. Or visit the author's website, which a lot of indie books do. They're like, here's...
Am I not allowed to read the sequel to Divine Rivals?
Why?
Because of the stupid publishing company.
Is that the publishing company?
In the publishing company that did Divine Rivals in the US is the one that...
Well, then you can read it. Just read it.
I'm not leaving. I'm coming back. What if I read the ebook?
Did you say I'm not coming back?
No, she is coming back.
Oh, okay. I was like, damn, Katie, okay? She's like, I'm going home.
This is my house anyways. She can't leave. I locked her in. And didn't no, I think you can read Divine or the Ruthless Vows. I think it'll be fine.
Comes out.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I do want to say one thing. I didn't really post a lot in terms of group chat as I was, reading, but I did point out one thing, and it's when Violet and Rihanna, what's her name?
Rhiannon.
I was close. Rhiannon, when they were like arguing or like distance or whatever, I was also listening to Taylor Swift at the same time. In particular, now that we don't talk, and I was like, this is giving me much feelings because like the lyrics and shit. I was like, so I felt that. Yeah.
Alrighty. So overall, we really enjoyed this book. You need to read it. It is very much a filler. When stuff happens, it is. When stuff happens, it happens and it's great. But
just skip to the second part.
You can't just skip to the second part.
Don't skip.
I
Read the book.
know.
Do read the book. Take your time with it. Fully ingest it. But also understand there's stuff in here that is going to be repetitive and boring. At least
to you.
Overall, great book. What is our next read?
I don't know.
Oh, my MacBook said we're done.
Okay,
don't worry, it's still recording. It's fine.
Thank God. I got really stressed.
Endless War by Danielle
L.
Jensen. Which is the fourth book, but the second in the second duology of the Bridge Kingdom series, which we
I'm excited.
It's no longer. It's not related to the original duology really anymore.
No, it's a continuation.
We've moved past the point of the first 2 books.
So you have the Bridge Kingdom and the Traitor Queen, and then you have the Inadequate Heir, which the events of that take place at the same time as the Traitor Queen.
Mhm.
So you have the first duology, which follows Arn.
The
Nara
Inadequate
and
Heir
Aaron.
was my favorite.
Same.
Yes, so it's
And
the
then you
same
have-
characters from that we're reading
And then
about.
you have Karis and
Chick.
starts with a Z.
Zara.
Zara. You have Karis and Zara.
Yep.
That follow the next two books. So it's the Inadequate Heir, and we're going to read Endless War. And then there are going to be two more, which follow Anna, which is Aaron's sister, and somebody else. So there'll be two more books in the series. So we have
I'm
3
excited.
people left to read.
And
I'm
then
very
we're
excited
reading
to
a
start it.
sports romance.
Well, no, for February, no matter what, we're picking a
Mhm.
sports romance. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Like if we have
We haven't finalized exactly
Which
what it is.
one?
Well-
We have some options.
Endless
Yeah.
War is going
I'm
to
not
end up being
excited,
January.
but it's going to
so.
happen. So
We should do our book talk on my birthday retreat.
yes, that sounds great.
I want y'all to know that even though I don't
That
mean to
sounds so
sound it,
soon.
but I'm jealous. I want to go on trips.
You
Listen,
just need to move to New York.
yeah.
We're
we've
starting a
decided this.
commune on my dad's property. Patrick's already there. Look at you, you're on a little camper. You guys could be neighbors.
Literally.
It's good.
All right, I have nothing else to say about this
All right.
book
So this is
other
great.
than
next is Endless War.
and fuck Jack's dragon because that's stupid ass
Yeah.
dragon.
And Jack fucking Barlow.
Jack fucking. Oh.
Did
Alright,
y'all
and this
ever
is
watch The
Ben.
Vampire Diaries? Wait, did y'all
Yes.
ever? Rebecca!
Rebecca.
I never finished that series. I never finished the book or the TV show.
I
the originals because Klaus Michelson is
him and Caroline should have ended up together.
yes.
Yeah.
After Elena died for the 4th time and came back to life, I was like, "What? Why?"
I only
So I
wanted to
gave up.
watch the series because I started watching season 4 at my friend's house and I was like, I love this.
However, Stefan and Damon lived on my wall until I graduated from high school.
I love that.
All right, goodbye, good night.
Wait, this was Lucia,
Katie.
And Mary.
and this was the final book of
The
book talk
final
for
book.
the year.
Oh,
So
for
happy
the-
holidays,
Merry Christmas.
And Happy New Year.
Hanukkah,
Merry Kwanzaa.
Happy New Year,
Kwanzaa.
and we will see you in the new year, 2024.
Yep,
May
we
it
will
be
see you at the end
great
of January.
and awesome and wonderful and fuck yeah. Bye.
Bye.